That thing says breaking news. There actually is breaking news to tell you about. Both Capitol Hill and the White House are preparing for a possible visit from Ukrainian President Zelensky on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. Let's bring in NBC News correspondent Carol Lee to tell us about this story, which is like, it's not like there wasn't enough news this week already, Carol. Just like, let's have Zelensky come to D.C. Great. What's happening there?
Well, what we're learning from multiple sources is that, as you said, the White House and Congress are preparing for a potential visit from President Zelensky tomorrow, and that as part of that, President Zelensky could possibly address a joint session of Congress tomorrow night. So that would be a very significant speech. And look, it comes as the White House is preparing to announce a new package of aid for Ukraine that's expected to include those Patriot missile defense system. And as Congress is passing additional tens of billions of dollars of aid for Ukraine, and at a very critical moment in this conflict. And so it's pretty significant, to say the least, that President Zelensky would be leaving Ukraine and arriving here in Washington if that does indeed happen. One thing worth noting, John, is that the people who we spoke with said that this is all contingent on security, right, and this is not a done deal by any means.
Yes, but I gather that the Capitol Police have been undergoing preparations for the visit. There's like stuff afoot, right? And that's usually a kind of a signal that like things are getting close to being locked in. Yeah. Kurt, I gotta, at this moment, the juxtaposition of Times Man of the Year, the most unequivocally heroic figure of at least this last year in the world, coming to Washington, D.C. on the day that we read the full committee report on Donald Trump's attempts to incite insurrection and overthrow an American election. The juxtaposition doesn't get any more dramatic than that, right?
It's a good episode, good year-end episode of the show, yeah, right. Which is to say, no, it's extraordinary. Not only that, of course, the Times Man of the Year comes to visit the President of the United States as he's trying to get more billions of dollars from us to fight his war and defend himself. Yeah. But, of course, it's a perfect bookend to the 3 years later of Zelensky, the last time he visited the Oval Office, which was, of course, Donald Trump.
Doing his Trumpy stuff.
Trying to hold him up to besmirch Biden. I mean, you can't make it up, as they say. In fiction, this would be
a bridge too far. Not just a bridge too far, like a bridge, about four or five bridges too far in a Hollywood pitch meeting. People would be like, come on, give me a break. I mean, it's something, right?
Yeah, look, Donald Trump has been the portrait of a national security disaster for this country since the inception of his presidency, this being one. And remember the stance he took with Vladimir Putin, which was to throw overboard our own intelligence, have basically secret meetings, lengthy secret meeting with Putin, and have it be actually very unclear whether he was serving the best interests of the country versus his own personal interests, all wrapped up into what is now a war that's also the breadbasket of the world. So I think the stakes are, well beyond those for the Ukrainian people, although that matters. But it's such a juxtaposition because every single thing we're seeing, and this is just a reminder of it, is just how much Donald Trump compromised national security and still is.
And what is Donald Trump doing this week? I saw the email today that came into my box. $2, you can buy a raffle ticket to get him to do a personal video Christmas message for you. Oh. And so, again, as the writers of the show are saying, hey, what can we have Trump doing? This.
Yes. I mean, look, I mentioned before the free-range insurrectionists on Capitol Hill, the Republicans who supported Trump back on January 6th. If I'm Carol Lee, if I'm the Capitol Police, one of the things I would be concerned about is trying to make sure that people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Congressman Biggs and some of these other folks stay away from Zelensky and not yell at him about Hunter Biden's laptop, because that's obviously the next thing that we're going to see is the right wing of the Republican Party in the House trying to accost Zelensky and say, you must know something about Hunter's laptop. I'm only sort of kidding. Carol Lee, Maya Wiley, Kurt Andersen, you guys have all been great. Thank you for spending this time with us.